Welcome all teams to the event safety and information video for this coming weekend's Max Adventure Race in the Royal National Park. Really looking forward to welcoming you down to beautiful Audley for a great day of mountain biking, kayaking and trail running. Before we get started today, I'd like to take this opportunity to acknowledge the traditional custodians upon whose land we will be meeting and pay our respects to their elders past, present and emerging. One of the important things I want all teams to do before coming down to the event on Saturday is to make sure you've had a look at the event program. Chances are, if you have any questions about the event, it will be covered in the event program. So make sure you have a good read of that. It has been emailed out to all teams and is also available under the latest news section of the website. So make sure you have a good read of that before coming down on Saturday. The weather for Saturday is looking like it will be a crisp and clear day. However, there has been a good amount of rain in the Royal National Park over the last week or so, which means some of the trails will be quite wet underfoot as you go around the course. So please plan accordingly to accommodate for that for Saturday. I have some safety things I want to go over now while I have your attention. Firstly, all teams, both classic and novice teams, will at different points on the course either be crossing and or travelling alongside roads. Those roads are not closed and they will have traffic travelling along them. So please make sure you give way to any cars travelling along those roads. Where you are crossing across Farnell Avenue, which is a bit of a busier road, there will be traffic controllers in place to manage that. But they are there to stop you. They will not be stopping the cars. So please pay attention and follow their directions when crossing the road. And then when you're coming back down to Audley, to the finish line, towards the end of your day, you will be coming along Riverside Drive, where a lot of you will have parked. So when moving about that area, be aware of other teams moving about and pay attention to them. Give them plenty of space. If you do get into any difficulties out on course, your first port of call is going to be your teammate. You will be travelling together, so render any assistance you can to your teammate. If you require further assistance, there are emergency contact numbers printed on your map and on your course description. And it's also a good idea to grab another team that's travelling by, get them to pass on your information to the next marshal or the next transition area point so they can radio us and we can initiate the appropriate first aid response. When you are mountain biking on Saturday, we ask that all teams ride to their ability. We understand that everyone has different levels of what they're comfortable riding. So if you are riding along something that you are not comfortable with, that is maybe a bit too technical for you, get off, stop and walk. It will only be for short sections, but we'd rather you do that than ride outside your ability and end up hitting the deck. So please ride to your ability. Take special care, especially after the rain we've had, on any downhill sections. They can be a bit more slippery. So pay attention to them, get on the brakes nice and early, keep that speed to a nice manageable level, so if you do hit any unexpected bumps, you won't go flying over the handlebars or anything like that. For the running legs, especially for you classic course teams, there could be areas where it's quite slippery underfoot. One leg in particular on the classic course takes you down towards Carlu Pools, and you will be right alongside or sometimes even in the creek bed. The rocks in that area can be quite slippery, so pay attention to your footing when moving through that section and just across the course in generally. For the kayaking legs, remember you must wear a life jacket, a PFD, when on the kayaks, and you must also always be wearing footwear. I know some teams like to try to take their shoes off to avoid them getting wet. Your feet are going to get wet on the course on Saturday anyway, so keep those shoes on, please. And remember, you need to take your mandatory equipment on the kayak legs as well. When you are launching and bringing the kayaks back, please carry them to the designated launch area. so you'll be able to then get the kayaks out in the water, and then when you return, carry them back as directed by the event staff at that location. If you have younger team members and you need assistance, please speak to the friendly staff, or you might be able to ask another team passing by to give you a hand moving those kayaks. Please make sure you don't drag any of the kayaks. They need to be carried. Dragging them just leaves a hole in the bottom of them, and it will then fill with water and be a lot slower paddle for you. Speaking of water, we asked that all teams, you must carry a minimum of 2 litres per person plus 500 mils on your bike. That is quite a lot of water, but there are 2 of you and there are no aid stations or places to fill up on the course. So you need to be carrying plenty of water with you. You could be out there for a good number of hours, so you want to make sure you have plenty of water. So that's 2 litres per person plus 500 mil on your bike. When you come down to Audley to register on Saturday morning, you shouldn't have your bikes with you. Make sure you've had a read of the event program. As I mentioned earlier, you will notice you need to drop your bikes off at the bike drop location before coming down to Audley. So please make sure you do that prior to coming down to registration. When you do come down, please follow the direction of the parking marshals, who will help direct you where the next available parking spot is. And remember, unless you have the appropriate National Parks pass, you will need to pay the $12 National Park parking fee. So please make sure you pay that on the machines in the park when you come down on Saturday. Even more reason to carpool if you can, to save avoiding that fee. Once you've come down, you've dropped off your bikes, you've parked, head on over to registration, where you'll be able to collect your race bag. That'll have your time-in chip, a wristband to attach that, your race bibs, so your race number, your map and your course description, and a bunch of other information about the event, so you'll be able to plan your day. A good tip for newer teams is make sure you're looking at the map in conjunction with the course description. They go together to help explain what you are going to do on the day. And finally, for you novice course teams, remember the novice course tips and tricks session will take place at registration. Check the event program for the exact time. That's where I'll virtually run through the entire course, explaining how you go about finding those elusive checkpoints. So that is highly recommended for you newer teams. For you teams signed up for the classic course, you've signed up for the classic course, I'm afraid you don't get that advantage. That's all from us at this point in time. Enjoy the last couple of days of sunshine before Saturday, and we look forward to seeing you bright and early down at Audley. Thanks very much.